Welcome to Advanced REST Client application. Environments and variables help you to manage HTTP requests and switching between execution contexts. An environment is a list of key value pairs that can be used in any part of the HTTP request, meaning the URL, headers, or body. Even the request and response actions support setting values from the current environment. By default, the application creates the default environment. You can add a new environment by opening the Request Selection drop-down and selecting the Add Environment option. Enter the environment name and click Save. You can switch between environments with the same drop-down menu. Currently, there are no variables in the newly created environment. We add a variable by pressing the Add icon to the right of the variable's title. An editor shows up that allows you to enter the variable name and value. A variable name has to conform to the same rules as in most programming languages, meaning it has to start with a letter and can only contain alphanumeric characters. Spaces and dashes are not allowed. For this tutorial, we add the host variable, which has the value of http://bin.org. We use this variable in the URL editor. The value of this variable is masked by default for added security. You can toggle the visibility of the value with the icon located inside the input. Before saving the variable, you should also enable it by switching the toggle button. You can use it later on to disable selected variables from processing the HTTP request. After the variable is added, it shows up on the variables list. Again, for added security, the values are not visible by default. You can toggle the visibility of all variables by clicking on the toggle button in the title area. Now let's go back to the request editor. We replace the HTTP bin part of the URL with the host variable. We use the JavaScript-like notation with the $sign and the curly brackets surrounding the variable name. When the request is initialized, the variable is replaced with its value. Let's try with another variable, but this time we use it as a path parameter of the URL. I prepared a request that asks for a picture of a kitty with a text on it. I call the variable catSay. Now we define the variable in the environment to say hello. When running the request, it is evaluated to its value. Why to use variables and environments? Imagine that you are working on a project that has deployments in the development environment, staging, and production. You can parameterize each request in your project to use a different host or a subdomain, and also things like API keys. Instead of entering them into each HTTP request, you define a variable and use it instead. In case of any value change, like API key, you only update one variable. You can also set variables from request and response actions to dynamically extract information from the response, but this is described in details in the request actions tutorial. Subscribe to this channel to see more content like this, and thank you for using Advanced REST Client.